for Amanda Smith. No, I always do this wrong every single time. You're like, you're a great interviewer, and then this happens every time. For MJ
This is part of
Acosta, right? This is real, people. This is real. I'm a real person here, okay? What's up, guys? Amanda Smith here with MJ Acosta. Thank you so much for making time for me today. It is so fun to meet you via Skype.
I know, in person. Usually we don't get the chance when we're like IG friends to kind of connect face to face, but this is close to the catch. I like it.
Exactly. This is modern day networking, is what I always say. So, first things first, happy almost 1 year anniversary of working at the NFL Network to you. Congrats, lady.
Yeah. I can't believe that we're coming up pretty in a couple months on a year already. It felt like it was 2 seconds ago, and it was 2 years ago. Like it's really nuts.
You know, having come from local news and not only now working at the network level, but being currently the only Latina on-air talent at the NFL Network, what has this sort of job meant to you? And do you feel an extra responsibility?
It's been nothing short of a dream come true. I know it sounds a little corny. Some
No.
people say that, but quite literally, when you check off the list of goals or dreams or accomplishments, like being part of a national network was at the top of my list, and to represent other Latinas in media, to be not only the only one but the first ever Latina on the air at NFL Network is huge. And I do feel a bigger sense of responsibility because I get so many messages from other girls who say, I've never seen another Latina or another Latina that looks like you, kind of be at the forefront of something like this. So it means a ton.
Speaking both English and Spanish, have there been moments where you've been able to better connect with players and coaches being bilingual?
Totally. I mean, in the NFL, it's a little different, right? Because there's not as many Latino players or coaches in there. There are a few, though.
Yeah.
Speak with Coach Rivera not too long ago at the NFL owners meeting, and we kind of connected there, him being from Puerto Rico, I'm from the Dominican Republic, so we had that commonality there. When I covered baseball, I mean, I walked in and so many of the players are Dominican. I always say that aside from plantains, like baseball players are our biggest export from the Dominican Republic. So it was just, it kind of removes a wall, right? Like I didn't need a translator. I knew where they were coming from. I understood the culture. And for them, they just felt at ease knowing that they could speak in their natural language, and that they didn't have to kind of think twice about what they were saying. So that was a huge advantage in that.
You have almost a decade of experience working in this industry. Did you always feel that your career would progress to the level that it now is?
It's interesting because I think a lot of people in our field, they started out in high school doing like their morning announcements, and that was not me. I didn't know that this was my calling until I was in my mid-20s, when I was taking several years off of school. I've been a dancer my whole life, and that was kind of my focus. And I was a business major when I started off, even though math and I are not friends, girl.
Me either. Oh, I feel you.
That's why I talk for a living. But I wanted to open up my own dance studio, and that was kind of all that I knew at 18 years old. Eventually, that led me to my love of dance, led me to a job on television as a dancer, and I just fell in love with the entire broadcast process. And that was kind of the shift for me. So at that point in my life, when I started in broadcasting, I never expected or even knew to think this big, but it was kind of like a slow progression. And once I got into it, I knew that there was nothing else that I could see myself doing.
When you say that, you never really expected or could even think that big of this is where you are now, are there people that kind of pushed you to follow this dream that you have, or how did you come to that realization?
It's funny. My parents immigrated to this country in their 30s. My dad was a doctor in the Dominican Republic, left that behind. And when we moved to New York, he was working in a factory as a janitor. So he left 12 years of medicine to kind of start all over and give me a better life. So for me, the push from my parents, which has always been my driving force, was more so in practicality, like make sure you go to school, make sure you get a good job, and that you're taken care of. Because that's all they knew, was work hard, work hard, work hard. So it was an interesting shift. I almost had to push myself to follow something that was more of a passion, as opposed to something that was like practical. You know how this industry is, and there's no guarantees that you'll make it per se. But I think once they saw just how much I loved it and that I was going to make their sacrifices count, then they were all in. They've always been supportive, but it took a little extra convincing to show them why this was the right path. And my family has been one of the biggest motivators and support systems for me.
Well, I was watching some of your work and I just have to say, I think you are absolutely amazing. I was like mind blown. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I get to interview her. Are you
That's
kidding?
so sweet.
So thank you. No, seriously, this is so fun. Okay, we're going to play a quick little 3-question fill in the blank game. Get to know you a little better.
Okay.
So, a job people might not know I had prior to this is.
I was a bartender for many, many years.
Oh, girl, what's your cocktail?
Yes. My cocktail of choice, I like a good Moscow Mule, but I made a lot of rum and cokes in South Florida, let me tell you.
I think me and you are now best friends. My first day at the NFL Network, I felt.
Nervous. For sure nervous. In a good way, of course.
If I could go back 10 years and give myself advice, I would say.
Oof. I mean, there's a whole encyclopedia of things that I would say 10 years ago. But I would say own it and trust in your talent.
Short, simple, and like motivational. I'm gonna print that out and put it on a poster. So we had some great fan questions for you, so I want to get to as many as we can this week. So Talks with Gundy says, what steps did you take to get to the position you're now in today?
I mean, there were so many steps, and there's still steps. Initially, a lot of internships, working for free, figuring out what you want, what you're good at, what you're bad at, what you can improve on. I think being able to find good mentors and deep diving into different avenues in the broadcast and media spectrum was huge for me. So I did radio internships, staging internships, television internships until I found what my niche was.
I think that so oftentimes it's easy for outsiders or maybe people who aren't in the business to just see the level that you're at now and think, oh, they've always been there. They don't get to see the grind. When you say working for free, kind of doing the extra work, having, 2 other jobs, how would you describe to someone wanting to get into this industry the importance of just persevering and not giving up?
That's probably the biggest key to success in this business is the tenacity and being able to do a bunch of different jobs. I mean, I started off as a producer, as a copywriter, as an editor. You have to be able to do a myriad of things, especially now with the digital space. Like, there is no like specific job just for somebody who edits anymore. Like, everybody's doing everything. And I think it actually helped. It was to my success in the end because I was able to do everything on my own. So I was doing 3 or 4 jobs on my own, and people think because, oh well, you're a lead sports anchor, like that doesn't mean you're not putting in the work. Actually, you have to do twice or 3 times as much at that
Boss lady moves.
point.
Boss lady moves. Alrighty, so JMBus94 would like to know, how have you learned to overcome moments of doubt?
Whew. Those still happen to this day, this morning, 5 minutes ago. It's kind of part of the business, especially now with social media. I'm not going to kid you. It's hard not to compare yourself to other people, to the success other people are having, to the opportunities they are. But it goes back to like trusting in your gut that you're doing what's right for you and that your opportunities will come, and it's being prepared for when those opportunities come and learning how to find a moment to like center yourself. Like, all of it is noise, right? That those negative thoughts, the doubt, it's noise that just blocks your head. So I have to remind myself constantly, like, no, girl, put the blinders on. You got this. You're fine. I think most of us in this industry are naturally ambitious because it's just so, you can't not be ambitious in this field if you really want to succeed. It's very competitive. It's high paced. And so we always want more and more and more, which is a great thing. But I think we also have to learn how to reel it back for a moment, grab some context and perspective of where we are now and how far you've come, and know that the next step is coming in the right timing. It's just not in our timing, and we're very impatient. At least I am.
I always say, like, that's the biggest thing is just being patient, and it's the hardest thing at the same time.
100%. That is the toughest part, I will say.
Out here straight preaching. Okay. Final question is going to be from Brandon C. Smith 5. And he says, do you feel a sense of relief that your hard work is paying off?
I wouldn't put it as relief, because I just don't believe in ever, and this is a fault of mine, it's a blessing and a curse, ever like resting on your laurels. I do feel a sense of accomplishment and of pride that it's paying off, but certainly not relief. Because then that would mean I'm relying too much on hope, and I just don't think that's how it works. At least not in my life experience. So I feel a sense more so of accomplishment, and then a little extra push once I am able to say, wow, I did accomplish this. Like, holy crap, I did it. All right, girl, let's get ready for the next one. So it's always kind of like that motivator for me.
Hell yeah. You should feel a sense of pride and accomplishment. And I couldn't thank you more for taking time to chat with me today and answer everyone's questions.
Oh
So
my God,
thank
thank
you.
you. And you are already such an amazing interviewer. Like, you're
What?
doing it, girl. Yes. You're doing it.
Okay, let's do it again sometime.
I'd love to. I'm here for it.
Guys, for MJ Acosta, I'm Amanda Smith. We'll see you next time.